Byron, congratulations on being selected. You are a beast when it comes to stopping the run. You're a guy that fills up, takes a bunch of space. Will you talk about that? Because it's a certain mindset that says, listen, you're not running where I'm at.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I mean that's what I was coached to do at Alabama, and really in high school that was something that we always put a lot of emphasis on. When I got to Alabama, that was the first one thing we did at practice. Every day we started out with striking the sled and starting out with playing the run, because at Alabama our first our job was to attack the blocker, and we had to earn the right to rush the passer. And so for us that meant stopping them on first and second downs, getting making negative plays, getting them behind the line of scrimmage, and getting an obvious third down. So where they had to pass the ball. So man, it's something I've been coached on really, really hard, and it's something I take a lot of pride in.
Byron, you've been on a record of saying that, any team that drafts you, and obviously the Raiders did, is getting a winner, and you're a guy that can go into a locker room and become a leader and change the culture or make the culture better. Well, obviously the Raiders are continuing to try to bring winners into the locker room and try to continue that culture. Where does that mentality come from, and what are you going to bring to this Raiders locker room?
I think the mentality really comes from, how my parents raised me. My parents always raised me to be a winner. And then when I got to Alabama, that's something that we always harped on too. And so I haven't lost many games in my career. And, I would love if I can go in and help that culture get to, the same, just really help improve the culture and continue to go in there and impact everybody in a positive way. And, like you asked, you said, I think they'll be getting a great player, but also a player who can, transition into becoming a leader, because they already have a lot of great guys on the team like Chandler Jones, Max Crosby. They drafted Tyree earlier tonight. So it's going to be a deep group of guys up there, man. But I just want to come in. I want to impact it right away. And I just want to, give them everything I can.
Byron, congratulations on being drafted by the Las Vegas Raiders. My question to you is, when evaluating the game film, you had a good stretch there against Ole Miss and LSU. You racked up 3.5 sacks during that time span. Can you just talk about the growth that you gained just from those two games alone?
Yeah, I think that was me really being able to showcase how I could pass rush. I know a lot of people had questions about if I could pass rush, and some people were calling it a down spot in my game. But I wanted to go out at the end of the year and really show that I could pass rush. I think I got a lot more opportunities. So I was just able to go out there and show what I could do.
Hey, Byron, I actually wanted to ask you about that stretch too. I know you said kind of what went right now, but how much do you think did that really help boost your profile? And do you feel like that opened the eyes of some people to enable you to be a high pick in the draft, that stretch?
Yes, sir. I think it did. I think it showed people that I do have the ability to rush the passer, especially when I'm given the opportunity. I feel like at Alabama, sometimes we didn't, we ran a lot of games. And so that didn't really give me an opportunity to showcase all the time when I could do one-on-one. And so I think those last few games, I got the opportunity, and I really took advantage of it.
Byron, congratulations on being drafted to the Las Vegas Raiders. Not sure if you've been asked this, but obviously at the Senior Bowl, one of your coaches was Matt Edwards, as your
yes, sir.
Coach at the Senior Bowl, who's with the Raiders. What was your experience kind of coached by him through that process, and also being able to talk to Patrick Graham and some other guys that are with the organization?
It was great, man. I love Coach Edwards. When we were at the Senior Bowl, he seemed like a coach who obviously cared about his players. He seemed like a coach who really knew what he was doing, and who, one of the best for his players. And I mean, that's really what I want to be around. And I think he is really contributing to winning up there. And that's something I really want to be around. And I think that the whole, Raider team is just going in a positive direction.
Hi, Byron, Levi Damien, USA Today. So you mentioned that your ability to get the sacks during that stretch last year was a matter of opportunity. I read somewhere that your 28 pressures were more in last season than you had your previous 3 seasons combined. Mm-hmm. And I just wanted to know, was it simply a matter of opportunity, or was there at some point where like a light came on for you?
I think it was really, I would probably say it was opportunity, but maybe a little bit of a light. Because, before this past year, I wasn't taking the bulk of the reps. We had other guys in front of me like LeBron Ray, Fedarian Mathis, Christian Barmore for those first 3 years that I was there. And so a lot of times I might not have been in on the third downs or the obvious passing situations just because those guys were older and they had already earned their opportunity. But, I got the opportunity, especially later in the year. Coach put me out there and he let me show what I could do. So I think it was a little bit of both.
Hi, Byron. You mentioned the Senior Bowl there, and I was wondering, did you get the opportunity to meet with Patrick Graham that particular occasion? And did you guys have any sort of conversations? How did those go?
Could you repeat that? I couldn't. It kind
Yeah.
of went out for a
Oh,
second.
I was wondering if you were able to meet with Patrick Graham during the Senior Bowl and what that was like.
I don't think I met with him during the Senior Bowl, but when I was at the Combine, I had a formal interview with the Raiders, and I met him in there, and I met really the whole coaching staff. And, it was a great experience. It was a great experience.
Wanted to get your thoughts on being at a program like Alabama and playing in as many games as you did. I mean, you got a lot of experience, over 50 games. What did that do for you, and just how was it about being around those guys that have that winning culture like you spoke on earlier?
Yeah, I think it helped me a lot. I was able to play a lot of football. I played in every game, while I was at Alabama. So I think I played like 54 consecutive games. And, that's something I took pride in. There were games where I had little nicks and bruises that I could have set out for, and I probably shouldn't have played. But for me, I'm a guy who loves playing football. So I'm going to go out there whether or not I'm hurt, whether if I'm 100% or if I'm 60. If I feel like, I can go help the team, then I'm going to go out there and play. But being around guys like Will Anderson, Bryce Young, Christian Barmore, all kind of guys that I was around for so many years, I think that helped me grow. And I was able to watch those guys and how they led. And that really helped me in my leadership role. And then that helped me off the field, just seeing how they carry themselves and things like that. So, being around Alabama and all the players that come to Alabama, it was just a great experience.
Hey, Byron, kind of on the back end of that last question, obviously you played against a lot of great competition and around a lot of great competition as well in practice every day. So really just, going deeper into that, how much did those guys really push you to be great, and how awesome is it to see all of these guys that really push you to be great be drafted with you today?
Yeah, it was great, man. It was great. We all had a lot of competition, guys like a guy who got picked a little bit earlier than me, Tyler Steen, guys that'll be picked later, Lord's willing, Emil Ekier, a lot of guys, man, Bryce, Will. Every day at practice, it was a competition. And if you didn't come out to practice, the right way, then you get left behind. So it created a great atmosphere. I think sometimes, really a lot of times when practice was harder than the games, just because you were going up against such great players. So, I think it prepared me a lot on and off the field.
Byron, at Alabama, you kind of played the piano along the line. You played that 0 technique, 4 technique, 3-eye technique, even trucking inside to the 2 technique. Where do you see yourself fitting as far as a technique standpoint? Because you can play so many positions.
Wherever they put me is where I'm gonna play, man. But I feel like you said, I did play the piano, so I feel like I'm really able to play anywhere. I'm comfortable playing all the way out from the 9 to the really. Sometimes I was on at the nose, so really anywhere, man. Anywhere that they feel like I can be, effective, and they feel like I can, help the team.